Hey guys, it's Erica. Thanks for joining me today as we go through a trauma-sensitive stretching sequence. And what makes this different than a regular exercise class or even just a stretch routine is I'm not here to tell you just put your hand here, put your foot there. Okay, you should feel great now. I'm here to be in this with you as we explore just building awareness of what we're feeling in our body, both externally as it relates to how the mat feels, how the floor feels, how even the fabric of our shirt feels, and also internally. So, how our muscles are feeling as we're contracting and lengthening, or other sensations that come up in the body as well. So the goal is to build a healthy relationship between the mind and the body as we process what we're feeling physically. So it's not about labeling what we're feeling as good or bad, but just seeing what comes up in a safe space. So if you're new to this, it might be a little different. And I would encourage you as an exercise, like an extra exercise to try, is grab a piece of paper and pen and even write down what you feel and notice as you go through the different stretches, and that might help you process it as well. So other than that, you don't need any props. We're just going to start out on our backs on the mat. So I'm going to start with my feet planted. You could have your feet long. You could have your knees wide or knees together with some internal rotation. So you can choose kind of how you want to start off on the mat here. Even an option to close your eyes as we start just with a short body scan. So I'm going to begin by just bringing my attention to my feet. And that might include picking up your toes, wiggling them, picking up your heels, setting them back down, just finding some simple movements of the feet. And then as you find stillness, noticing how you're grounded down through all four corners of the feet into your mat. Or if your legs are long, your feet, it's just your heels that are grounding down into the mat. And then we pull that attention, up the shins towards our knees, whether they're bent or straight. And then along just the legs as we come towards the hips, even noticing how our hips are being supported by the mat or the floor. You might find some gentle movements or rocking side to side of the hips. Just noticing how you're feeling supported in the lower spine. And then drawing that awareness again up the spine, noticing where your rib cage is hitting the mat, as well as your shoulder blades. Option to even tuck your shoulder blades underneath you as you open your chest. And then noticing your shoulders and your arms, how they're also supported by the mat, or maybe, your arms are more on your floor, whether it's a hard floor or a carpet. Notice where your elbows are hitting the floor, your hands. And just notice, did your hands automatically turn down, palms down and grounded, or palms up, more open? You could invite some small movements into the hands, wiggling fingers, tapping fingers, rolling out your wrists. And then as your hand finds stillness, we'll draw that awareness back up towards the neck and just back of the skull. Possibly even rocking back and forth on the back of the skull, moving your head just really gently. And then we'll draw that awareness up towards the face. We have so many tiny muscles of the face that we only use in really small ways. So I'd invite you to find some bigger movements for your facial muscles, whether it's scrunching your eyebrows together, lifting them up, squeezing your eyes tight, wrinkling your nose, puffing out your cheeks, moving your lips side to side, just like all those movements that we wouldn't really do in public, but can feel so nice for your face. And then last, we'll bring our attention to our breath. And if it makes it easier, you could even plant one or two hands on your tummy, just to feel the rise and the fall of your belly or your chest as you inhale and exhale. And I just invite you to join me as I take a deep inhale, feeling the belly lift, and a slow exhale. 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 And a slo And again, taking another deep inhale. Just allowing your hands on your belly, if that's where they are, to provide even more grounding to your breath. Just more of that like tactile input to your breathing. And a slow exhale. And one last breath together as you inhale through your nose. And then take that slow exhale. Just noticing how your breath feels, if it's hot or cold, slow or fast. Maybe there's other adjectives you might use. Noticing the texture of your breathing. And we'll see how that changes over time as well. So if your eyes are closed, I just invite you to open your eyes up. We'll start to get some bigger movements going. I'm going to pull my knees in towards my chest and my hands plant on my knees as I move into some hip circles. I'm moving to the left and just feeling your hands guiding your knees in this circle or maybe more of an oval. And then we'll switch to the other side. And now I'm directing my attention more to the base of my spine, imagining that the base of my spine is drawing a circle on my mat or some kind of squiggly oval. And then I'll find some stillness here. And I'm moving my legs up into reverse tabletop. And from here, I'm just going to cross my right leg over my left, almost like I'm sitting in a chair. And so option to keep your hands more grounded on the floor, or if you want to hold on to your shins, you can feel the way that your calf muscles move as you start to flex and point the feet. We're going to be doing a lot of movement with the feet today and just noticing, how that changes the way our muscles move, how we engage with our muscles. Maybe you have one foot that's a little more doing like some popping, your ankles are popping, that snap, crackle, pop that I have at least. I feel that on my left side. Like my foot's on the right, but I'm feeling it on my left. And then we'll slowly unwind those legs. And I'm going to bring my arms out kind of like really wide, like a T. And then with my knees bent, I'm going to drop my body over to the left for a really gentle supine twist. And immediately I notice with my legs on the floor, it is colder than the mat. So I notice a change in temperature. Maybe you notice a change in texture with whatever kind of floor you're on. And I'm going to bring some movement here into this twist as I straighten my legs and then bend my knees. And I'm just kind of sliding it along the floor. And maybe you keep your legs straight and more hinge from the hips. Maybe you're just hinging at the knees, but just have fun exploring that movement. Or adding in more flexing of the feet and pointing of the feet, all while your spine gets a really gentle twist here. Hands might be planted down, or you could try with your hands face up. And I slowly bring my legs back to stillness. And then the rest of my body comes back towards center. Got some core engagement here. And now I'm going to do my opposite crossing of the legs. So my left goes over my right, or whatever you didn't do before. And feel free to keep your arms out straight if that feels nice for your chest. Or you can grab onto those shins again. Now this time I'm going to grab under my shins. And then as I start to flex and point my feet, I feel those calf muscles engaging just from a different angle now. So I feel that pulling and that stretching. And I don't know if you can hear that, but we've got some thunder going on outside. This is like the perfect day to be doing a class like this. It just got a little dim and dark and the rain's going. I don't know what it's like for you, but if you want to just join me in your imagination for just a nice rainy day, feel free. All right, I'm just going to release my legs here back to just reverse tabletop. My arms are going to go out, and this time I'm going to try palms up. So feel free to place your hands however you want, and my whole body's going to hinge to the right, supine twist, and then I just start to extend my legs, bend my knees. This kind of stretch always reminds me of that show I watched as a kid. Was it The Big Comfy Couch? When Luna the Clown does her clock stretch. I think I'm dating myself a little bit with this. I was teaching a class the other day and brought it up to a girl, And she didn't know what I was talking about, but 90s babies will. So again, as you're moving up and down, just what do you notice? Is it your carpet that's kind of rough? Is it a smooth, hard floor? And then slowly bring those legs into stillness and rotate all the way back up. Now I'm going to lengthen my legs up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to grab my calves. So again, feeling the engagement of the calf muscles. My feet are flexed. Feel free to play around with pointing one, flexing one, switching it up, pointing both feet, moving the ankles around, and notice how you feel the muscles of your legs engaging differently. Maybe you feel your shin bone. So we can, again, just build that awareness of how we feel externally with our, there goes some more thunder. I hope you guys can hear this. I love the sound of thunder. And so you're really just engaging those muscles from an external way, like just feeling the muscles, because it gets easier to think about things externally and feel them externally before we move inside about like the internal feeling of our muscles. All right, so bend those knees. We're just gonna rock and roll up to a comfortable seat. So legs crossed. I'm gonna find some lateral movements here. I'm gonna plant my left hand and reach the right up and over. I'm gonna get into a rhythm here. So I'm gonna kind of swoop my right arm around, graze the horizon, and then left arm comes up as I lean to the right. And I'm gonna go a little bit faster. So you can think about how you're switching while you're grounding into one side, on one hand, and then to the other. You can change like how far forward you hinge forward, or maybe you stay like more seated upwards with your spine straight. It's up to you. And then I just invite you to bring your attention now to what your lower half of the body is doing. It's almost like you're creating a half circle with your sits bones here. Kind of moving back and forth. We'll take a few more. And I'm reaching up towards the left again, circling around. And then I'll find some stillness here, seated. And now I'm gonna plant my feet in front of me and my hands behind me. So again, switching up how we're feeling grounded. An option to keep your sits bones and your hips on the mat and just extend and reach your chest forward, or you can release your hips all the way up and find reverse tabletop. And then we'll slowly come down. I'm gonna go up one more time. So pressing through palms and feet, lifting up, looking up towards the ceiling, and coming back down. And I'm gonna move back into a seat and cross my legs the opposite direction. And I'm gonna move through those lateral movements again, but this time pushing myself up onto my shins. So as I move to the left, I'm pushing up onto that left shin. So I'm still getting a whole stretch through the side of my body and then pushing up onto that shin. Now you can stay seated, absolutely. Or you can push yourself up and forward and up and forward. We'll just take a few more here. So now if you're pushing yourself up and forward, lower body is definitely not really making that half circle anymore. Ankles feel more stacked, pressing up onto each other. Of course, just being gentle, not pushing too hard. And then finding stillness again. Now I'm gonna plant my feet, plant my hands, and I'm gonna go for 2 more rounds of reverse tabletop, or just thinking about extending your chest upwards. So I'm gonna lift up. So I'm feeling the mat under my feet, under my hands, and then coming back down. And I just feel my entire stomach extend as I lift upwards, gaze upwards. I feel gravity pulling my head down, and then slowly coming back down. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna extend my left leg out and my right foot comes in. So we'll find some self-grounding here as the base of this foot presses into the inner thigh of the left side. And I'm gonna reach for my ankle or maybe just my shin and find a really subtle side stretch here. Option to bring your gaze up towards the ceiling or down towards your ankle. Right hand can be wherever you want it, wherever it just naturally lands. And I just pause here for a minute. Well, not a minute, a second. And then you can stay here or go a little deeper. I'm gonna reach more towards my foot, kind of hugging the base of my foot. And my right hand reaches up and over. So I get a deeper stretch. Finding that self-grounding, the base of my foot as I'm hugging that foot kind of tightly with my hand. And then I slowly come back up. Now I'm going to push myself up onto my right shin, kind of similar to what we just did. Left leg stays long, right hand plants behind me, and my left arm reaches up over my head. And then I slowly come back down, and we'll try that on the other side. So opposite side, my right leg comes out, left foot comes in to ground into that inner thigh. My right arm reaches for the ankle, and I find a really subtle side bend, almost like with a mini twist. Your gaze can be up or down, maybe opposite of what you did before. And just briefly hold for a breath. And then I'm gonna go a little deeper, so you can follow me if you'd like, and just hug the outside of that foot, pressing in almost to the base of my foot, and my left arm comes up and over. Option to even point or flex the foot here, find some more movement in the foot on this side, whereas the other side we had some stillness. So just notice how that feels different. And then slowly come back down. I'm planting my left hand behind me and pushing up onto my left shin. Right arm comes up and over, just creating more space and openness in the front of the body here. Gaze could be down towards your hand or up towards the ceiling. You can choose. And then slowly come back down. Okay, now I'm going to extend both feet in front of me and just reach for those ankles and find a forward fold. And if this is the extent of your fold where you're comfortable, that's perfect. If you want to reach for the base of the feet and just start to do some more self-grounding as you hug your feet with your hands, maybe moving your toes around, creating some circles with your toes, or taking your fingertips and walking down your feet. So you didn't know you were getting a foot massage today, but you are more than welcome to give lots of love to the bottom of our feet. If you're walking around, standing all day, you just don't get a lot of love. And then slowly come back up. Now I'm gonna move to reverse tabletop. So I'm planting my feet again. So grounding through all four corners of the feet, both hands planted on the mat, pressing into my palms and lifting hips up, letting gravity pull your head back, and then slowly coming down. And one more time as you lift up, pressing through the palms. Feel them almost make an indentation in your mat, and then slowly come back down. Now this time I'm going to bring my legs about a little wider than the mat. No one's trying to win a stretching contest here, so you can go as wide or as narrow as is comfortable for you. And I'm going to start to walk myself forward with my palms flat, fingertips out. Gaze can stay forward, or if you want to drop your head down, find what's comfortable for you. You could choose. And just hold here. Maybe you bring some movement into your feet. I'm just going to kind of do some gentle flexing and extending of my toes. And I'm going to walk myself back up, really pressing my palms into the mat as I do so. And now I'm going to go for that stretch one more time, but I'm going to use my fingertips to walk myself out. So you can take palms again, or you can take fingertips. And you've got the same choice where your gaze can be up, or you can be folding forward. Fingertips lifted, or maybe you're ready to melt your palms down into the mat. Maybe your feet are still, or maybe you bring in some subtle movement, finding some circles with your toes or moving back and forth. And then on my fingertips, I'm going to start to walk myself up, pressing into the mat evenly with my fingertips. And now I'm going to walk out again, but this time on my legs. So I'm gonna reach towards my feet. So I'm gonna kind of walk my, like kind of the way I grip my calves as I go to my ankles. Maybe you stop at your ankles, or maybe you grab the outside edges of your feet. Again, really hugging and pressing tightly into the base of your feet. And then option to find some movement from the hips, maybe going to rotate internally and then externally as you move your legs back and forth. So feeling the way that that changes, how your heels are pressing into the floor as we move from internal rotation to external rotation. Then I'm going to walk myself back up, but I'm going to kind of slide my palms along my legs. So feeling the shin bones, knees, giving pressure even to my thighs until I'm sitting all the way up. And we're going to walk out one more time. So again, I'm just going to use my palms and kind of walk my palms down my legs until I reach for the ankles. Maybe you reach for your toes. Maybe this time grabbing onto the inside of the foot rather than the outside of the foot. You can choose. And then holding here in stillness, or finding that rotation again. Noticing how like just the pressure on your heel changes from the internal to external rotation. And then as we come up, option to, sit up with your hands, kind of lightly walking up the legs, or pressing and giving like more pressure, I guess, towards those legs as you move your hands all the way up, just kind of like feeling even just like a texture of your own clothing until you're seated, shoulders rolling up and back. And now we're going to take one more reverse tabletop or reverse plank. So if you want to go for reverse tabletop, feel free. But I'm also going to try reverse plank. So my legs are still out long, pressing down through my palms, and I press only into my heels this time. And I lift my body. Don't need to go very high. And then come all the way back down. And actually, I'm going to do that one more time. So pressing through palms, into heels, reverse tabletop like before, or reverse plank as you lift your body. Feel gravity pull your head back. And then slowly come back down. Beautiful. All right, now I'm gonna come down onto my back. Now you can plant your feet again. I'm really feeling like I just want my legs long. This is where you can choose. Let your body naturally go towards one. And if you're not even sure what feels natural, just try one and then try the other. I try not to over plan what I'm gonna do because I wanna be listening to my body and doing what my body needs the same way that I hope you also learn to do. So with my legs long, my hands just kind of want to plant down into the ground, maybe your eyes closed. We once again just bring that attention to our feet. I feel like, honestly, my feet feel like 5 times bigger because we gave so much attention to our feet, so much movement, so much even like tactile input, just touching the bottom of our feet. I feel like it's just taking up more space in my brain. So maybe it is for you too. And then start to continue that attention, bringing it up legs, knees, hips, the base of the spine, just moving upwards towards the ribs, shoulder blades. Once again, I just want to tuck those shoulder blades under and open the chest. Notice your shoulders, your elbows, hands, whether they're face down or face up. Drawing attention upwards again towards the neck, back of the head and the face. And lastly, your breathing. Just noticing if your breathing's changed, how it feels different, how it feels the same. Maybe there's other sensations that you're noticing in your body, whether it's heat or fuzziness or something you can't even explain, but you just notice something is going on in that left shin or your right hand. So it's just building that muscle, building that relationship between the mind and the body. And then as you're ready, I'm going to come up into a seat as we finish up here. But if you want to lay here for the next 20 minutes, feel free. So So I'm going to slowly push myself up into a comfortable seat. Crossing my legs, rolling my shoulders up and back. And we are done. I hope you feel relaxed. I hope you feel a little more in tune and in sync with your body. And more than anything, I just hope that you feel like you can live at home in your body. Because if we don't feel at home in our body, where are we going to feel at home? So thank you so much for joining me. This has truly been a gift, and I hope I see you soon.